Hi there, how's it going? So, as you can see, I'm very Christmassy. I'm properly in the zone because Christmas is my favorite time of the year, and I'm in San Francisco right now visiting friends for holidays. And I missed last week's episode because there was a whole fiasco where my baggage was delayed, and basically everything that's going on makes me just reflect on how thankful I am because I chose to go down this journey, because it's taught me so much of life skills also. Yeah, it's definitely changed me as a person. It's taught me so much more. It's humbled me. And this episode, since this is going to be the last episode in the pilot season, I just thought it would be interesting to you know put everything together and be able to share with all of you what I have learned, what the journey's been like, the major, key takeaways from all the conversations that I've had, and definitely give you a peek into what lies ahead, where I'm planning to take this, what else is in the pipeline, and what you could be excited about. And so, with that, I'll just get into it. So, when I started by the rules, there was no plan, and I had no idea how I was going to do things, how this is going to take shape, and what this is even going to look like. But I'm so grateful that I trusted myself at every step in the process, and it was more of a gut feeling that it just felt right. It just felt like something that I want to do for myself and for the things that I believe in. And just that process has taught me so much. It's helped me reinvent myself. It's helped me rediscover parts of myself that I would say were lost. This process definitely helped me get in touch with myself, get in touch with my values, and just go after things that I totally believe in, that I totally stand for. And apart from that, there's so much around control that I have learned, that sometimes you just need to trust the process. And I was somebody who used to be obsessed about or around having things under control, having things a certain way, and just being very anal of sorts, if I can say that. But then it's just been that idea that, okay, you need to get this done and you need to give up that control, that everything needs to be perfect, because that's not the idea of this. And with that, obviously, the whole idea around perfectionism, that I wanted things to be really, like perfect to the T, and I wanted the aesthetics to be on point. And I realized that that's taking away so much from the message that I want to put across. And if what am I out there to do? Am I out there to, make myself look a certain way and, create this sort of image myself, which obviously, to be completely honest, I do want to do, but is that my main motive right now, and is that the main motive ever? No, it's not. And that was something that I was able to realize through this commitment that I sort of made to myself, to put 21 episodes out by the end of the year. And in the process, I've just had so many beautiful conversations. I think I have become a better friend. I've become a better, daughter, a better sibling. And in every respect, in every kind of relationship that I hold in life, I think that I've become genuinely more interested in people, in what they've got to say and what they think, and what I can actually learn from them. Because when we're younger, at least I can speak for myself, we think no end of ourselves. And I used to be somebody like that, who thought I was the smartest, I was the wisest, I knew better than anybody. But then when you listen to somebody else describe their experiences, that's when you realize how little you know and how much you've still got to learn. And there's really no ending to how evolved, quote unquote, you can be, because every person's journey is different, and yet we have so much in common. Because as simply as I can put it, heartbreak hurts the same no matter who you are. So there are these commonalities in experiences, even though we come from so much diversity. And that one thing has led me to become so curious about people, and so curious about how we work as human beings, because we're so complex. And that has opened up so much opportunity for me, in the way that when I started this, I had no idea about how this could be like a sustainable, monetizable business. But today I have a clear plan about the next 6 months, or the next year, about the next couple of years, as to what I want to do just with by the rules and how that's aligned with everything else that I'm doing in life. And it's a lovely experience because I think if I was just scared and if I just stayed where I was thinking that okay, this is going to go wrong and this could go wrong and da da da, I don't think I would be recording this. So yeah, it also funnily brings me back to the first thing, like the way I started this, which was around taking the first step, and look at how far I've come just by doing that. And also the fact that this is not where it ends. This is, for me, this is just the beginning. This is, I've just literally gotten started, is how I feel. And of course, like in the whole process, there was so much learning, unlearning. I've gotten so much value from the conversations that I have, not just on the podcast, but even, offline, because there's so many conversations that don't make it to a public platform. So around that, I just feel that as a person, I've become far more enhanced in the kind of conversations that I'm having, and that's just enriching my life, man. I just feel that the quality of relationships that you have when you genuinely want to know more about the other person, when you genuinely care about what they think, versus just having yourself heard and just wanting to just be the one who's speaking, basically, as bluntly as I can put it. That experience has been very enriching in its own self. First and foremost, I think that each one of us, every person that you encounter, every person that you meet is a storehouse of wisdom. Everybody's got such an interesting story that you can learn from if you become curious enough, and if you allow them to basically teach you in their own way, and just be open to receiving that kind of wisdom. The thing is that I always had access to people who have a certain level of authority, have a certain level of influence, who, more people would be interested to listening to as, a content strategy or a marketing strategy. But it was a conscious decision to, pick and choose people who were around me, who I was personally inspired by, versus, going behind somebody who has gathered that kind of audience, so to speak. And that is not to say that I'm not going to have these people in the future editions of the show. And I feel that's a very important philosophy that I want to share with anybody who's listening, to inspire them that I think wisdom's everywhere. Every person's experience, every person's story has so much to teach you. The more we get interested in that, in learning what another person can teach me, I think the more we get closer as a community. And especially because loneliness is such a huge, it's almost like an epidemic in the times that we're living, because we're so siloed, we're so individualistic in the way we started to think, act, behave. Interestingly, one of my friends, he reached out to me few months back, and he was like, it's interesting how you can make friends wherever you go and everybody knows you passively. When I looked at that objectively, what works in my favor is I'm genuinely interested in meeting new people, and I'm genuinely interested in knowing whatever they have to say and listening to what their stories are, where they come from, and what their traumas are, what made them the way they are. And honestly, that's not the kind of conversations I grew up having. It's just out of personal interest that I find that far more interesting than anything that doesn't really excite me. So these conversations have definitely helped me get so much insight into people and how complex we are. That is that. And the third most important thing that I took away was that there's definitely more good than there is bad in the world. Our opinion is so negatively polarized with everything that's going on in the world right now. And as disheartened as it makes me, the kind of interactions that I have and the kind of experiences I have had just in the past 6 months, they give me hope. And interestingly, in the last conversation that I had with Jaya on the podcast, she said that there's this golden rule, which is like, do to others as you want others to do to you. And I think that as a philosophy, we've started to get a little out of touch with. So that's what I've learned, that, if you're nice, if you're good to people, if you have nothing but good intentions, that is what comes back to you. Because I think what we see in people is essentially a mirror. So you're seeing parts of yourself which you probably like or don't like in them, and that's one of the biggest key takeaways also that I've had through this entire experience. And yeah, it just gives me so much hope and so much excitement, so much enthusiasm to just keep doing what I'm doing. And I'm so passionate about not just my stories, but all these stories that I get to hear. And I feel very happy to be doing what I'm doing. I think there's a certain amount of liberty that I've given myself at this point, that, you know, okay, I've had like 10 to 12 years of industry experience working independently only on projects that I've enjoyed. So I think I have reached that place where I really want to gamble on myself and just do things that I want to, that I love, that help me feel that okay, I'm fulfilling my purpose, my potential. And it's also a great segue into letting you know what's up with By the Rules, where I see it going, what's my vision with it. And of course it's an appeal to anybody who aligns with that to, you know, get in touch with me, to just chat, to discuss how we can collaborate, how we can work together. So with that, production is definitely that I'm getting into. Just with By the Rules, I have so many topics of interest that are sort of branching out, that for me now it's difficult to sort of choose and narrow down into okay, what is the next season going to be talking about exactly. And with that, I also realized that, you know, I, like I said, that I cannot be talking about everything. So I also have people who are now reaching out to me who are sort of interested in their specialty, in their domain, and we're figuring out ways in which, oh, okay, we can bring those messages out to masses basically. And what I realized is that a lot of people who have excellent ideas and excellent knowledge and information are unable to sort of put it out there because they lack the resources to basically get it done. And just with that particular problem in mind, I've decided that I want to be a producer and help bring out all these conversations. In fact, I'm already working on a few projects that are involving very exciting conversations and very interesting topics that I personally find myself interested in. And yeah, basically just building a platform for creators who have some value that they want to add to the community, to other people's lives. So definitely production is a big part of it. Apart from that, I'm also DJing, I'm producing music, and that in itself is aligned with my creative vision around storytelling and how I want to, you know, bring in other aspects of my life, which involves travel, music, art, photography, and how I can basically accumulate all of that and bring all of that in one space. And then there's definitely stuff around, you know, the behind the scenes of how this was even made, because there's so many interesting stories and anecdotes that, you know, that obviously haven't made it to the final cut because of various reasons. And I feel that there's so much value in that as well, because it's literally raw material that so many people could benefit from, and that's the kind of stuff that I want to put out. Apart from that, there's also conversations that I have with friends, with, like I said, that, you know, these conversations have started becoming so rich in terms of quality, in terms of material, and that with obviously proper consent, there's some friends who are interested in, you know, just putting these out there. And that's the kind of stuff I want to bring out. There's a lot of content around travel also. And so, yeah, as you can make out, there's a lot going on. I'm clearly very excited about it. I'm very, very, very happy about the progress that I've made in such short time. For me, it's a big thing because with very little to almost no promotion, By the Rules has collectively around 1,000 people who are listening to it. And for me, that's a great achievement, because literally when I started, I had no idea where this was going. And yeah, now the idea is to keep growing this and sustain this. And of course, that's not a one person job, which is why I'm also looking to expand the team or work with people who are aligned with my vision, who have a vision that's similar to mine, and who just want to be involved doing interesting stuff and work that they enjoy. So it doesn't matter whether you've got similar experience or not. If you want to, you know, be a part of this, or you, even if you're just inspired by whatever you're listening and you want to understand how things work, I would be more than happy to, you know, even have a chat with you, because I think this is exactly what I mean, that, you know, I'm interested in talking to people and understanding where they're at, where they're coming from, what I can learn from them. So, yeah, that is where I am mentally. So, for me, the year end is also a time when you get to reflect upon everything that's happened in the past 12 months and be grateful for whatever that was that has, made you the person you are today listening to this. And just with that thought, I hope that this episode inspires you more than anything else and gives you courage to take that first step. And it's funny how, things go back into one full circle, because that was exactly what I spoke about on my first episode on Bio the Rules. And had I not taken that first step, I wouldn't be talking about exactly what I'm saying to you right now here. So that's what I want to leave you with. I wish you a Merry Christmas, a very, very, very Happy New Year. I love you. I appreciate you. And please do me a favor, go tell somebody that you love them. Have a very, very special holiday, and I'll see you very soon.